Well, it's been a while since I've done this. I kind of lost my role, so I'm not going to put any expectations on myself, but today's today, and I'm making a video. I didn't really know what I was going to talk about before I got on the bike, because I have like 3 things in my mind. But I guess, okay, so a new thing that I've decided to do this year for space time, and specifically I want to execute in quarter 1, is I'm working to sell smaller service packages to clients. So productized services is what a lot of people call it, like Jonathan Stark, and I want them to be smaller in the way that they, like, most of the projects that we take on, like for websites or apps, take at least 3 months or 4 months. So if you're running a business and you're halfway through a 4-month cycle for working with a client to build an app, and all of a sudden you have cash problems and cash flow problems, you can't just go sign another 4-month project and to fix that, because then you have way too much work. So I need smaller packages to sell that I can complete in 1 day, 2 days, or a week, that supplement our long stretches for our larger projects. So a few of the things that I've decided I'm going to start offering are: 1, I'm going to do the classic Google Venture design sprint. So I'm with my partner Chase about it, and he actually gave me some great ideas and perfect use cases for clients. If you don't know what the Google design sprint is, you should go check it out. It's spending 5 days and really digging deep on your product concept and idea, and figuring out what the most important pieces are, and then going and testing it. And so I think that would be really valuable for a lot of people who are maybe on the edge, on the fence of absolutely knowing what they need to do, and just not quite ready to spend the amount of cash that they need, that it would cost to build a full-fledged product or startup. Because that's always a problem. Like, we try to convince our clients to spend less money and build smaller projects with us than larger ones, because it's really not, like, if you're gonna go build a product, it's better to spend $20,000 and build a small product, and then test it out with users and find out whether you're moving in the right direction or not, then go spend 8 months and $80,000 building something that turns out nobody cares about. And so that's kind of what I want the Google Design Sprint productized service to be about, to be like, where it's not even building a service. If you learn more about the Google Design Sprint, it's, in the end, what you're doing is you're designing a product that looks real, and you're having people test it out, and so you get rapid feedback to find out if your hypothesis is correct, and if not, then you just saved yourself a lot of time and a lot of money by doing this in 1 week. So that's one Google Design Sprint deal. I'm also going to start offering just business consulting. So the idea, it's really something that all projects need, is that discovery period up front. But for some clients, that's all they really need. So a good example is a conversation that I had with a potential client recently, where we met up for coffee and we ended up talking for 2 hours, and he had a couple of ideas that he wanted to consider hiring us to build for him. And as we talked about the ideas and kind of like nailed down where he was currently in his career and what he was trying to accomplish, it gave a lot of clarity that both of the ideas were fairly disparate, and that they were in the same area of industry, but they were very, very different in how they would operate. And so one idea quickly became obvious, which was the one actually that he was leaning towards running with. It was probably going to be a bad idea for him to take on at that time, based on where he is in his career. So the most obvious, from that he learned a number of things, but it was mostly that what he thought he was about to go do, and he wanted to sign a statement of work for, was not a good idea. And in the end, we had another conversation, and we decided that the best thing for him to do right now is nothing. Neither of the projects. He has a lot of other things he can and needs to do first before getting to that point. So that's a very small example of what I want what I'm going to call the founder's gut check to be. But it'll be something where I sit down with a potential client or just a founder or a business owner and talk about a lot of stuff. And I've done this a few times already with potential clients and friends and strangers. Every time they say that it's been great and that they walk away with a lot to think about. Also, I only like practical steps. Like, I don't want to talk about really vague things. So, if it's how do I get to the point where I'm doing X? Okay, well, let's come up with some practical steps that you need to take to get there. So that's one of the things I want to be a focus, is practical steps. I could say a lot more about that, and then the third productized service I want to start offering is a strategic retainer for space time. So clients can retain our company month to month to be a knowledge resource for a client or for their team, whether that means they need business advice, product review advice, or code review, or even interviewing potential hires, or sitting down with other companies that they're talking with, just to get a feel. Like an example is, a client wants to hire another firm to build a mobile app. Well, we could sit down with our client and that firm to talk about the necessities and the tech stack and the gotchas, and just to reduce that risk for the client, that they're not hiring somebody who's out of their depth, so, and trying to blow smoke. So that's just a couple of the offerings we hope to fulfill with our strategic retainer. I'm going long on this video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it. It's good to be back on the bike. It's more difficult than I remember, but that's just because I haven't been riding very often. And I also learned something about thinking and talking and speaking while exercising, that your body gets to a point where you actually can't think straight or talk, because your body is under so much I don't know, pressure or whatever. And I definitely feel that a lot of times halfway through my bike ride videos, where I can't think straight anymore, and I'm just kind of like saying stuff and I don't even know what it is. But I kind of like that too, because it's freedom, where you don't have to judge every word you say. You just let it go.